What is up? Welcome to Middle Age Apocalypse. It is August 30th,
Horror,
2024.
horrifying.
Horrifying. Labor Day weekend. Everybody, happy Labor Day weekend. And I'm Greg. This is Al. What's up, buddy?
You know, just,
Oh shit. I
just.
was just gonna immediately say I'm sorry about Lana.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. That's an issue. That's for sure. But whatever. All we can do is have high hopes. I mean, ain't seen her since Sunday. Uh, got an army of people in the local area looking out for. No one's seen a corpse yet, so I don't know. I just keep falling back onto my rhetoric that hopefully it's just some crazy old cat lady that whatever let her in and don't let her out. And people are like, "Oh, well, she's used to being outside. She's like a ninja. She could easily get outside." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's an animal. They ain't they're smart, but they ain't that smart. You take a handful of treats, throw it in the bathroom, close the door, then leave the house, cat's not going anywhere. So I'm just worried that she's being held captive somewhere, but I don't know, man. I'm just trying to keep the faith. It sucks.
Yeah,
I got missing posters all over the place on phone poles and in the post
good.
office and the local shops and stuff like that. So I don't know. Just fingers crossed, bro. She's a gem. I really hope I get to see her again.
Yeah,
That
I
little
hope so too, man. I think she's gonna come home to you. Were you able to get a post up on the forum or no?
um dude, so my local Facebook thing, Midcoast Messenger board or whatever they call themselves, I posted a missing thing and they declined it. And I hit up the admin and I'm like, what is the fucking deal? Like, why would you decline that? And they were, oh, well, you get so much traffic and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, you're a local Facebook page. Like, where do you
That's
get
crazy.
off of? Oh, well, you just have to, you, you, we'll repost it. You just have to edit it. Did you contact your local animal control officer? And I'm like, yeah. And my vet is right up the road. Okay, so go back on and it took, dude, this took them 3 days. So I just got the reply right before we got.
That's wild.
And she's like, well, I'm like, how am I supposed to have proof? And she's like, well, you don't necessarily need proof. You just have to say that you contacted your animal control officer and like maybe your vet or whoever, stuff. So whatever, I just reposted it. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll find out at the end of this if it goes through. But that to me is just wild. It's like, who do you fucking think you are? Like, it's so so. Say if you were at the beach, right? Fucking, and your toddler took off running and you missed it, and you post something and they decline. Like, oh, did you contact your local sheriff's office? You're supposed to include you're supposed to include that in the post. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind? My child is missing. So it's
Right.
like I think, I mean, these are my little kids. So it's like where I just don't understand the gall. It's like, where you think you're that important? Like, your website is a subsidiary of an actual website that is an app, and you think you're that big? Like, oh, we just have too many messages, and we would just get so many messages, and we wouldn't be able to handle it. It's like, handle it. What the whatever. Moving on. I got my fingers crossed, bro, and I know you do too. Just knock on wood, and hopefully I'll see her again. She's my little girl.
Yeah, man. But for real though, go back and after we're done with this pod, go back and click that front porch forum and put a post on there because that thing is huge. Like it's a big thing right now. So there's probably a lot of people in your area on there who may not necessarily be on Facebook. There's a lot of older people, who probably aren't on Facebook that use that shit because
Right.
it's like a neighborhood watch kind of thing too, and like
Yeah, yeah.
local things for sale. But it's mostly pet stuff. I see like take my chicken. Anyone have a chicken? I found this cat. Where's my cat?
Mm,
Where's my dog? Found this dog. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
At least around here. And I think, you know, we're probably around the same size here. It's all the
Yeah,
same. New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, pretty similar.
right. Yo, and not for nothing. How's the audio?
The audio on your coming from your end,
Yeah.
it's been pretty good. I haven't heard anything cutting out or anything like that.
Isn't that wild how technology just moves on like that? I mean, these these are like $30 skull candies. These I spent $130 not 4 years ago on some, and these are now literally $100 less, and they work that much better. If not, if not like it's not insignificant. Put it that way. The battery lasts
Yeah.
twice as long. I mean, $130 as opposed to $30. Like, and my audio's coming through clean. I mean, that's dope. That's
Yeah,
what's
that's
up.
cool. Yeah, I actually almost took a little longer to start the podcast because I checked my phone. I was looking at my phone and I had ordered some of those. You probably haven't seen them because you're not on TikTok, but um, you know the brand Lenovo.
Yeah,
Um, they have these earbuds all over TikTok. They're over the ear,
right.
like
Well,
to
they have
prevent
all sorts of different styles, but I know the ones you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to prevent the ear fatigue and shit. And then
Right.
it's got like a touch screen on the case.
No,
You
I
seen
haven't
that?
seen them. That what is that?
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
like Tom Brady shit? Like got the digital fucking playbook on his
I don't know
forearm?
about that. I don't know. I just see it's got a touch screen, but I ordered some on there. It says they were on sale for like $35, cut down from like 80. So I
Did
ordered
we?
that shit.
Yeah, go. Yeah, yeah.
I was just saying I saw that it got delivered, so it's sitting out in my mailbox. I almost ran down to get them. I was like, well, they're not going to be charged, so I won't be able to use them.
Yeah,
But
but that's the
that's where
thing.
I'm.
Half the time they come like 75% charged, so it's
Yeah,
like,
that's true. These mics, they were charged when I got them in the mail. But
right.
dude, TikTok Shop, I've honestly actually for my vending machines, I've been ordering energy drinks off TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
Wicked cheap. I got a bunch of solar floodlights I got 3 solar floodlights for around the house.
Oh,
They
nice.
were
There
like
you go.
12 bucks TikTok shop. It's all shit from China. It's all shit from China, but it's fucking
Where else would it come from, Greg? Come on.
But it's great. I mean, I've got a bunch of shit. These mics, like $5 for two mics. Um,
That's the whole thing, though. Like, why go out of your way to buy the mics when these headphones, the mics are built in and they're at my ear. They're not even near my mouth. But you're telling me my audio is fucking mint. So
yeah,
what's
it's
the
good.
point?
I have I don't have my right side in, which has the mic. I thought that from the ads I saw for it, these ones sounded a little crisper. So
Hmm.
I just wanted it to come through crisper. I mean, I was using these JBLs when we first started, just,
They're
I
still a
don't
little
know.
snappy though. They're still a little snappy.
Is it snappy?
Yeah, your treble's a little high. It's hissing when
All
you
right.
pronounce S's or whatever.
I
It's a
think it's
little.
probably because we're inside. It's like the wind guard one. I put it on because I got the fan going.
Oh, okay.
All
Yep.
right, let's
Yep.
do a little test. Let me cut this off, and I'll put this. How's that?
Keep going. Say words with S's.
Words with S's. Sally sat on a silly, thinking, soggy submarine.
It's definitely better, but it still crackles. So you might
I don't
just have to
know.
turn. You might just have to turn down your treble setting just to.
That could be it. Let me try this. It's an
What are they?
inside look, folks. This is an inside look right here. Try this.
Oh yeah. Well, we're in Lou. Met up with Jordan earlier. Did the old government fingerprint bullshit. So I'm
Jordan's
officially
your CO,
my recruiter.
your recruiter. Okay.
Yeah.
How's this audio?
Keep going.
Sally sat sinking silently
No, no,
somewhere.
no, no, no. That's crackling worse.
Which was the best? Which was the best for you?
Second option, I believe. The last one was probably the best out of the three.
This guy then.
Sally took a shit.
Suddenly, well, that's the name of the old sitcom. Suddenly, Susan surprised Sally while Sally sat somewhere singing. So silently,
And took a
she
silent took a
took a
silent shit.
shit.
The fuck? The fuck is wrong with your brain? Come on.
uh,
That's a little
that's
better.
beyond
It's
me.
still it's who knows? Who knows? We'll figure it out.
I
It's not
can
the
fuck with my
important thing.
phone setting at some point. I think maybe it's just my voice.
Maybe, but I mean there's always a fucking loophole. But
It could be this. It could be this fan too that's fucking with the sound. I'm not
we'll
sure.
move into some of your fucking crazy shit that you sent me on Messenger there.
Oh boy. Yeah, so I'll put in a couple videos here, guys. I gotta go to my notes here. I don't remember. There's some other stuff I added here that I didn't talk to you about.
I want that drug that makes you younger. Like, what the fuck, man? I want that like yesterday.
Oh, so I didn't write that down in my notes. You're freshest on that. You watched it. Oh yeah, the telomeres, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lengthening telomere drug that can literally make you younger and reverse cancer and other ailments. Um, there was a trial with dogs which worked great, and then suddenly the CEO died, and they brought in a new guy. And since then, several members of the team working on the drug have resigned. I've literally read my notes verbatim. I guess I shouldn't have read
Why?
that like it was a news article. Um,
Why did they resign?
so here's pretty much. I mean, I'll put the video in here, but so this shit was working, right? And
Hmm.
like we've talked about, when shit that saves lives does well, people tend to disappear. Um, so the CEO of this company that was working on this drug that will literally reverse your biological age, um, this guy just dies suddenly.
Of
And
course.
so the board, I assume, brings in a new CEO.
He totally
And
was.
Okay, this is a weird one. A pharmaceutical company that's trialing a new groundbreaking age reversal pill had such good results that the local news wanted to run a story on them. But before they even could publish the video, the chairman and CEO died. You see, 6 months ago, this 12-year-old German Shepherd was near death. He had terminal cancer, was operated on, and his prognosis wasn't looking good. The dog's caretaker knew that an age reversal trial was being conducted on dogs, and so she asked if Zeus could be a part of it due to his dire situation. The pill's aim is to lengthen telomere caps on human stem cells, because as part of the aging process, our telomeres shorten, which increases the chance of age-related diseases and, of course, death.
If you can increase telomeres, you can reproduce stem cells and keep repairing things so that you can get literally younger.
They said that in their drug's preclinical data from a previous in vitro human cell study, it showed that the medication lengthened telomeres by almost 200%. Zeus was granted access to the medication in April, and his caretaker said that she saw results almost immediately.
He's doing marvelously. He goes out to our pool and he swims and he has fun and he plays with the tennis ball.
A recent scan showed that the cancer in his body had completely disappeared, and the results were so remarkable that she asked for more to give another 12-year-old dog that could hardly walk due to arthritis. And just last week, she said that he has started galloping and running again. But then, despite all of that, they hit us with this.
And we are sad to report that since this interview was conducted, Dr. Christopher Chapman has recently passed away.
On the company's website, they announced his passing, saying, out of respect and privacy for Dr. Chapman's family, details of the 71-year-old's passing will not be made available. And then added that to support the new chairman and CEO, 3 telomere directors have voluntarily resigned. Human trials for this drug are planned for mid-2025.
He totally wasn't poisoned. That's just a
yeah,
fact.
poisoned or who? I didn't see how he died, so it
He
could have
totally
been.
wasn't. He totally wasn't Jeffrey Epstein. But moving on. Yeah. Oh yeah. The ca- the
And
ca- the ca- the cameras just shut off at the most convenient point in time. Yeah. That's.
yeah, that shit is highly suspicious for sure. But so the people from the team on that drug, you were asking why they left. Well, I'm assuming this new guy that came in was um, probably not on the same team,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. Probably didn't have the same perspective,
Correct.
maybe. And so people resigned. I'm assuming at threat of either, changing or being fired, I'm guessing.
Yeah, or just threats to their life in general and their
Right.
families and all the above. Yeah,
So
it's
once again, we have something that could benefit humanity that seems to have come to a spot where it's being suppressed, and this shit was working,
yeah, but
fixing.
you know why it's being suppressed though, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's
Did you
being
see those
suppressed
dogs
because
though?
it's being
Those dogs in the
suppressed.
video is amazing.
Oh, I know. It's being suppressed because there's a finite amount and they don't want the public to know about it because they want it all for themselves. That is what the World Economic Forum and all these absolutely completely psychotic people are all about. They're about wanting to live forever, which to me is like the super scariest concept of a human because it's like, yo, you're not that cool. You don't have any powers. Like, it would make more sense to me if, like, you could fly or you were like Thor, you know? And it's like, well, actually, I'm 5,000 years old and Odin is my father and I will live for another 20,000 years. And I don't need any of your drugs. But it's like, he can do cool shit. These people, all they do is fucking just spend tax money. They don't have real jobs. Like, you think about a politician, right?
Yeah,
They don't have real jobs. All they do is regurgitate the same talking. It's not a, it's not work. I mean, think about like the last month. Trump's had like 75 interviews in the last month. Kamala Harris hasn't had one until last night, and she had to drag along Cates or whatever his fucking idiot name is, who claimed to have gone to battle, which he never did, just because he was in the National Guard on a lifetime fucking warranty procedure bullshit, so he could have benefits for life. And he's like, oh, the war weapon that I went into battle with. It's like, dude, you never even were there. It's the same thing with her. Oh, she's the border czar. She never even visited the border. Like, they're just
well,
talking.
what was it? She visited like a part that didn't have any problems, like some area that was fine.
To save face after like 2.5 years of not going there. Yeah. I mean, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah,
it's
I'd
just
heard
so
that.
pathetic. It's like,
Well, and now isn't she saying she's gonna close the like she's basically mirroring everything that Trump's saying right now.
yeah,
That's
she
what
wants to
I've
build a
been hearing.
border wall. And she's saying, oh, it was Trump's failure that the border wall never got completed. It's like, oh my God, you
Yeah, it's
all
funny.
were
They're ignoring everything that she's pretend. It almost feels like she's pretending she wasn't part of the Biden can't like part of the Biden campaign or the Biden group.
or just the DNC in general. I mean,
Right.
it's like,
Well, and the tip
oh,
thing too, right?
a wall is racist. It's like, yo, every single one of you live behind the walls. Every time you have a convention, you have the National Guard come in and raise 20-foot high walls of chain link fence and surround the place with militants. Uh, how how are you really going to go ahead and say, oh, well, this is a Trump failure? All you did was try to block all the funding for the fucking wall. The guy said he'd pay for it himself. He had the fucking money. And they're like, oh, walls are racist. It's like, okay,
Walls are racist.
coming from a person that lives behind walls constantly, that holds a lot of water. I mean, it's
Didn't
just
she
so.
do that with the not taxing tips too? Because Trump was,
Yeah.
didn't Trump first say he wasn't going to tax tips, and then she said the same exact thing?
Yep. Oh yeah. All she's doing is using all his talking points. It's so unbelievably ridiculous. Like,
It's weird. It's almost like they know that the Dems aren't going to watch Fox, so they're like, well, they're never going to see what Trump's saying he's going to do. So it's
oh,
just
I mean, he already said it. He's on record for saying it. It's just hilarious that now that's their tactic to win, is just
it's
using
weird.
all of Trump's talking points from 2016 to 2020. They're
Yeah,
using
it's
all of
weird.
his old talking points to garnish votes. Like, no, we're going to close the border where President Trump failed. It's like, you blocked all the
I
funding.
like I like your your impression. I love when you do a female impression. Dude,
Well,
my
it's
head is so shiny. I should be wearing. I don't have my light in here that Christy usually lets me borrow, so I had to put the overhead light on. Let's do this. Is this? Am I too old for this? Yes.
no, you're fine.
Am I shiny like this? No.
No,
Do backwards.
no, you're good.
My head
No,
looks
but
funny
dude,
that way.
and they they cover up all the actual video that is like pertinent to this topic, being that, did you see that video that finally came out the other day from Pelosi a few years ago? And she was like, she's in the back of, some convoy in a SUV, and she's got her mask on, and she admits, she's like, it was totally my fault to leave the Capitol. But what was I supposed to do? We were under siege. But I take full responsibility for calling off the National Guard. It's like, and no news outlet media is putting this shit out. It's so pathetic. It's right
How
in
did you
everyone's. It's right in
how did you
everyone's
feel
face.
about that interview? I don't know. Have you ever seen anything like that where presidential candidate does an interview with their vice president? It's kind of odd, huh?
Dana
What did you
Bash
think
is
about that
like
interview?
Dana Bash is like the most painful person to like even comprehend. I don't even understand how anyone takes her seriously in the first place. She just, it's all guided questions. And when she was interviewing those dildos, it was, here's a question, and then all the time you need in the world to make an answer. And then when she was interviewing Trump last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was just combative. Every time he tried to respond, it was, oh, no, no, that's been rescinded. Nope, that's been corrected by fact checkers. No, 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 no. It's just, dude, it's
I didn't
so
see it.
it's so pathetic. I didn't really see it either. I just saw
Watch
highlights.
clips. Yeah, yeah.
It's just so like mind-bogglingly pathetic. Like, really, you have to put words and defend these people because you just you call yourself a fucking journalist. Aren't you supposed to be right down the middle if you're a journalist trying to post an actually honest story?
That depends who you work for.
But I did journalism classes. That's 101.
All
If you're
right,
gonna,
stay independent, my friends. Stay independent.
mm, Maybe not. Not this cycle.
If
Maybe
you
after
work,
this cycle.
you work for any any news source that has any kind of reputation whatsoever, you have no choice in what you're writing about. You have no voice.
Apparently. But it's like,
Yeah,
yo,
it's
we don't
dead
we don't have
industry.
a choice at this point. It's like, yo, you know, I mean, like I was saying to my buddy the other day, he was he's like down the middle like that, like I don't trust any of them, fucking whatever. I just go Green Party or Independent, and I'm like, what? How was like? What did your dad do when you guys were misbehaving? Did he smack you? Yeah. Okay. So when you were having a potty mouth, did he take you on a swear ride like my dad did? Oh, yeah. A swear ride is when dad loads up the boys in the truck and you go up and down the street and you just get all your potty mouth out of your lungs. Just say it. And that's the kind of dad that Trump is. So it's like, do you want some deranged idiot who fucked her way to the top, quite literally, or do you want the guy that was just like your father, that has amazing, successful children? I'm not the biggest Trump supporter in any means. I'm just saying, I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, I would obviously vote for my father if it was that situation. But what I'm getting at is that if 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 you were between a rock and a hard place, where are you going to put your fucking money? And that's who that guy is. He doesn't take shit, and he tells people to fuck off who deserve to be told to fuck off. And everyone's like, he's a. It's like, I'm like, my old man is rolling in his dusty grave right now. Like, it just,
Yeah, I understand your point of view. I think if I'd say if you were talking to someone who you were trying to, I guess, who you're trying to convince who's a Democrat, I think maybe it's so hard to get through, but I think maybe the better approach rather than praising Trump is probably to try and point out how fucked up their own party has become over the
no,
years.
that's what I do. You
You
know,
know what I mean?
that's what I do. I don't praise Trump at all.
No, no, yeah, I hear you.
He's like, you met my old man. You know
Yeah,
how
yeah.
he was. He's like, ow, does someone break out the fucking bowl? Who's got some vodka? Fucking rap. Fuck. You know, he was just out of his fucking mind, contractor, just like fucking Trump. Not the same level, but, you know, I mean, he did build fucking the owner of the Celtics house in Westboro, Wick Prospect's house. You know, he was
That's sick.
a he was a formidable builder. You know, so I mean, when it really comes down to brass tacks, it's like that's the guy. That's the guy that's going to take care of you. That's the guy. Like my old man. I just like from Jump Street. I was like, no, no. The way Trump is talking shit back in 2015, I was like, no, just the country won't be able to handle it. And I had to rationally think about it. And back then it was only like 8 months since from the primary since Dad passed, and I had to tell everyone like, "Yo, you met my old man. He was the first one. He'd sign a check for you at the start of the fucking week, and just trust that you'd put in your fucking time and your effort. You know, he's the guy that would randomly show up at 9:30 and just turn off the fucking radio and declare coffee break and have Dunkin' Donuts for everybody. It's just
Nice.
that's just the way them fucking guys operate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that's how Trump is. He is a people's person, and they just persecute his character, which drives me fucking nuts because they're like the same age. Trump was born in what, 46? My dad was born in 48. They're both general contractors, I mean, it's just that attitude. You have respect for everybody on the job site. And when people go to try to sully that, it's not okay. It's just not. It's just not. Because the volumes that those fucking guys will go to, you know what we say in construction? If you want to make $1 million, start with 10. It's the toughest industry in the holy fucking land. That's reality. It's not an easy business. You gotta have grit, but you gotta have charm. And just that debate, that's when I joined the Facebook group that's been long since banned, was the walk away party. Walk away from the Democrat Party. And I was just like, this fucking guy is just like my dad was. You know, he's got the charm, he's got the grit, and he cares about everyone, and he'll do anything for anyone. So, that's all I gotta say about that.
You recognize this kimono?
No.
Remember the hoodie I was wearing last week?
Kinda, sorta. Would you cut the fucking hoodie off it?
Yeah, yeah, that's what the hoodie's based on, is kimono right there.
There you go.
He said I was
But
some
yeah,
Irish fucking.
that's just how it's hard for me to talk about because people don't get it. It's it's a different business, and I gotta get a little emotional for a minute. Try to avoid it, but it was
No,
something
I'm sorry.
different. It was something different having a celebration of life and having my whole family being too scared to walk up to the podium and talk to everybody, right? But coolest thing was that half to 3/4 of those people that came up I'd never met. I'd never met, bro. And it's like, oh, your father, because I got sick of it, and I just had to get up and make a statement. You were there, you remember, and it was so many people like, oh, your dad put my nephew or whoever through fucking boarding school or college or whatever. It's like all these people, and it's like, oh, now I know where all the money went, but whatever. That has nothing to do with it. The point being is that he didn't give a fuck about that shit. The point being is that he was always just like, we can always make more money. We have talent. We have skill. We can always make more money. And the amount of people that he took care of, like cancer patients, fucking, past clients in foreclosure, like, it's just crazy. And that's the same way Trump rolls. His whole family. That's what they do. You know? Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest.
Yeah,
But
man.
bring on some more of them posts that you had there on Messenger. Let's go over some of them while we're here.
Were you able to watch those videos about that weird anomaly over Mexico?
Those are probably fucking robots.
Yeah, it's weird. It's I've got a couple videos related to this, which I'll post in this section. It's really strange. I think both videos give different perspectives on people's thoughts of what it could be, but one specifically mentions how the pattern of it looks looks very similar to the what is it? The Mayan calendar.
I'm about to show y'all something, all right? Let's make this thing go full circle. You might want to save this as fast as possible. And I'm going to show you something also which got my video community guideline. I'm going to show some things, but I'm going to be very specific in saying that none of this is true. It's just false. Because I don't want this to get down for misinformation. So I'm going to show you a series of pictures of what this comment is saying. And I love the power of perspective. This gentleman is saying this looks like the Mayan calendar over Mexico, which would also the Mayans, same area. Stay with me, stay with me. This man makes a video saying that the year 2025, which we are on the precipice of, will be the last year of reality. Now, we all know why this movie was created, because of the speculations behind the Mayan calendar, right? And then we have this fake article. This is a fake article, guys. Not real. That confirms 6 billion. And that not real, fake article. This is not real. Fake. So when this man, and this is the power perspective, says that the 3,000 kilometer wide weather anomaly, which I thought looked like the arc reactor from Iron Man that was in his chest, looks like a Mayan calendar. And we have all these things happening that are speaking of the year 2025. It gives cause for concern. Because I see that in it. But I also see the arc reactor. What do you think? What do you think? What is real? What is not? And tell me what this looks like to you. Some say UFO. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, shit. I just showed a video of a certain professor challenging the Holocaust, and I'm telling you, I don't know if to believe it's real no more. I don't. But hey, is 2025 the last year of existence? Which, just talking about that, and all speculation, asking the people what they think, I still have a video on community guidelines. Appeal not answered, because I didn't violate. And right next to it is that video of that man, if you want to watch it to hear what he has to say. You guys have a blessed night. Peace to the gods. Fuck. Good perception, brother. Good perception. Or Stacy, sister.
Right.
Which is really strange. And it's in Mexico where the Mayans were,
Yeah.
obviously. But when I watched the other video, it references CERN.
Ta-da!
Oh,
What?
nice.
What's CERN?
That particle collider.
Oh, for fuck's sake, those things are so scary.
Yeah, dude. So the second video references how the weather pattern is similar to the way that collider looks. And after watching both videos, I'm like, well, maybe it's both things. Maybe the Mayan calendar is also related to this particle collider in some
Right.
strange way. I don't know. I made that weird connection in my brain.
No,
But,
but that's logical. That is real.
Hey, it's Clampam. So more than a few people have been asking me to look into the radar anomaly. I posted just about an hour ago, and I already need to give an update because you won't believe what I found when I dug deeper onto what causes these strange geometric shapes. Normally I can reverse look up images and I can get an answer very simply. This is an unusual one because when you reverse search this image, all you get are repeats and echoes of the post. What is this strange radar anomaly in Mexico? I had found 2 different posts from meteorologists saying they were radar tests. So given that they're meteorologists and I'm not, I thought that must be it. But I dug deeper specifically for these strange geometric shapes that are very, very specific. All fingers point to magnetic flux. Now, trust me, this is definitely beyond my scope of just being a lowly ham radio operator and somebody with an obsession with frequencies ever since I had a super sci-fi near-death experience in 2012. I started to search for the images most similar to the radar anomaly, and I wound up at something called ATLAS, the ATLAS experiment at CERN with the Large Hadron Collider. Trust me, I don't know where this is going either, but it is literally the only thing that I could find that ties into the strange patterning. Having said that, I did find, apparently, and I have no way to verify this, at one of the sightings in Mexico, people posted pictures of clouds like this. They say this radar anomaly works out to be about 300 kilometers wide. So here's the thing, for one of these, Mexico's power department in that area said they had a power situation a power irregularity. What could cause a power irregularity that might also be generating an image like this in radar and ties into magnetic flux? Many people believe it was a UFO. Frankly, I'm not going to say it wasn't. I saw Nope, where UFOs hide in clouds. If I was trying to hide my personal UFO, I would fly in a cloud or make a handy little cloud to disguise me. On the plus side, I don't think we have anything to be afraid of whatever the UFO thing is. But I don't know what it is. I can't wait to see you in the comments. Take care.
Both things seem pretty crazy, but regardless, that weather pattern is very strange.
It's all
I,
manufactured, bro. It's all
I
manufactured.
really can't explain it. It's it's very strange also that it comes so close to, remember that big blob in the water that was seen over like I think we talked about that a while ago, over by like Africa.
I don't recall that one.
There was this I thought we had talked about it. Yeah, I think we did in one of our early episodes because there was some type of military array on this island near where this very large anomaly was showing up on these maps underwater, and it was people were trying to figure out what the hell it was.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Sarge
I don't know. It's
keeps-
just very Sarge is large. Sarge is large. It's just very suspicious how all this weird anomalies are happening at similar times, and we just had all those fires with all the theories about fucking lasers coming down, starting these fires in all these places where the smart cities are supposed to be built. And then we have
I think all that's
weather
legit.
anomalies. Huh?
I think that's all legit.
I do too. Yeah, I believe all that
They're
stuff.
just like the
But it's
whole.
just, I mean, all of this stuff happening one after the other with the UFO disclosure slowly and whatever they want us to know. Did you see Lou Alzondo's interview on Rogan?
No.
He basically said we have 4K, like, beautiful videos of this, all these fucking things he couldn't talk about. And he said they're basically releasing the shit that they're releasing to us is the shittiest of what they have. And they're keeping the best stuff to themselves. But he specifically referenced a video that they have of some craft larger than a oil rig. Like, you know those oil rigs out in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
Larger than that, passing through the water at 700 knots.
What?
Yeah.
700 knots is. That's
pretty sure that's what he said. Yeah.
It's got to be 7.
There was some information that was released publicly about a similar program the Navy has. I can't talk about it because I don't have approval to talk about it. But obviously they're interested because they have equities underwater. They're interested in if there's anything underwater that can perform beyond anything we have. And I remember speaking to one individual who pulled me aside very privately, and he said, Lou, we were tracking this thing doing, and I won't say the exact speed, but hundreds and hundreds of knots underwater. And it was bigger than our own submarine. Right now, you know how big our submarines are, right? They're huge.
Yeah.
And I asked him naively, I just kind of came out, well, what do you do when you encounter that? And he just said, very honestly, he said, we go around. Just like that, we go around.
Have there been interactions with these things?
I we're not at liberty to discuss any details about that.
Right.
That's not for me to discuss. You and
I got to get drunk.
I'm a lightweight, you know.
I gotta get you drunk. Let's go have some whiskey. Find out what the fuck is up. So this thing is bigger than the sub, and they followed it for hundreds of miles.
Let me give you another a great event that occurred, and I'll talk about this because it's not classified. The portions that might be, I don't know about, so I should be fine. There's an individual who I'm aware of who was a helo pilot, a helicopter pilot back in the late 90s in the Caribbean, and they were doing missile recovery. So what happened is that the Navy would test fire missiles, and then they kind of run out of fuel, they hit the water, and they sink. And at a predetermined time, they pop to the surface, we grab it with a helicopter, bring it back to shore, and we test it for telemetry and make sure that this cruise missile was doing what it was supposed to do. So they're out there in the helicopter, frogmen hanging down the line. You got the helo pilot, you got the crew chief, and the co-pilot looking all down at the bubble. And as they're about to grab this cruise missile out of the ocean, something huge and round, and what was described to me as black as a devil, starts to rise to the surface. The water begins to churn, very much like David Fravor's description of the Tic Tac incident and the roiling water. The frogman is so freaked out, he's literally trying to climb the line back up. He's like total Panic at the Disco, right? And the helicopter's like, do we do like an emergency ascent? What the hell's going on here? And right as this thing is about, and by the way, it's the size of a small island and round. Right as this thing is about to break the surface, it sucks the missile down and disappears.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure he said that from what I don't remember. You'd have to go and watch the
700 knots is well past the speed of sound. That's over 1,000 miles an hour. How does that even make sense?
If it's a UFO, if it's a UAP that does that in the sky and can also do that in the water.
Maybe.
I could have the numbers wrong. I don't remember. I thought that's what he had said. I'm sure I could find a clip. It'll take me longer to put this video out, but I'll see if I can find a clip and put that in here. I'm sure there's some.
I mean, because like seven knots is like, I believe, is ×3 in a weird way, kind of like kilo to a pound. So that would be like 21 something miles an hour. Which is fucking crazy for a container ship.
Regardless, the U.S. government has video of some thing going underwater that's larger than this oil rig at a fast rate of speed.
Where did you find that info?
Shit's crazy. It was Lou Elizondo talks about it in the interview he did with Rogan.
Oh, okay.
But he said that they have a lot of. That was like the most he gave up because Rogan kept pressing him, but he kept saying he can't talk about a bunch of shit because he's still what is it? He still works with the government.
He's a liaison to the U.S. government.
Yeah. He still works with them. But it's a really good interview. You should watch it.
What was that other thing that you were showing me? That fucking kid with the beard. What the hell was he going on about?
Kid with the beard. Oh, that was one of the videos about that weird weather anomaly over Mexico. He was the one talking about how it looks like the Mayan calendar.
Oh, like, yo, come on. We're past this. We know it's all fabricated. They're fucking with the clouds and all that. It's all total fucking bullshit. I mean,
fucking weird for sure.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like they tried to make it like some big thing over in Dubai, and it failed.
Still having
And
issues with that, aren't they? I can't figure
I'm
this fucking hell out.
I'm sure they are. But regardless, then they try to do it in Hong Kong, and they completely covered it up. Like they're, dude, they. So that's the whole thing. Like I used to be all about the whole chemtrails, and then I was like, it's bullshit, just 'cause weather. But if they're figuring out ways to control the weather, why are certain fucking jets, 747s loaded to capacity, flying right over, and there's no trail? None. Nothing. And then what? Another 747 or 767 or whatever the fuck it is flies over, and there's a chemtrail that's just like melting in the sky. Why are we supposed to believe that chemtrails aren't a real thing? Like, that is such bullshit. And there was that group, I can't remember what their name was. I think they were out of like Utah, but they were like, they took magnets and they were dragging them through the fucking snowbanks. And there was so many different types of metallics, like magnesium and shit, like you name it. And they just sucked right onto that magnet. And it's like, so wait, it's the same sky. It's the same sky. So why did that one jet fly by and there's no chemtrail? And then the other one flew by and the trail is still in the air for the next 3 to 4 hours. Oh, it's just the climate, it's the humidity, or it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Don't fucking pony me. I'm not some fucking, like, come on. It's just, they're so full of shit. So, like, really, when it comes down to that kind of thing, I don't even know how to approach it, because we have no access to the actuality of that information. But regardless, I guess what I'm saying is that how and why would we ever believe anything that they're telling us? Just seriously, like, okay, humongous jet flies by, no chemtrail. Small jet flies by, humongous chemtrail. Oh, they're not spreading shit on us? Like, they don't have an answer for it. So what are we supposed to believe? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely some of that going on. They've admitted to some of it, and
In what
they've
fucking
covered up,
forum?
and they've covered up a lot of it. But I mean, you're always going to have people who don't buy it. But I mean, I guess it's good to be an optimist, but at the same time, it's probably better to be somewhat aware of
A
your
pessimist?
environment. I mean, at least be aware of, at least acknowledge that there's fucking bullshit going on. At least acknowledge that there's fucking the corruption. Acknowledge that there's deception. Acknowledge that there's people just constantly trying to take advantage of the rest of us.
We're just
I
gonna
just
get.
don't understand. Huh?
Go ahead. Okay, finish what you're saying.
I was just gonna say, I just don't understand the lack of acknowledgement. Like, the amount of people that if they could snap out of it, that we could, the amount of people that we could all come together and fucking change everything. It's just the acknowledgement that there's stuff outside your tunnel that you're in. It's unfortunate. I mean, not even that I expect someone to go to the complete opposite 180, but just acknowledge that there's shit going on.
Right.
It's just confusing that how people, I don't know, don't see it. I don't, I guess just because I'm so aware, it's so hard to understand how
Oh, you're
people don't
so
see it.
you're so aware. You're so aware. I'll bust your balls all the time. But no,
Uh,
I agree. What I'm saying is that they've got everybody to the point where we're all just too tribal. There's no swaying anybody. It's like, okay, so JD Vance said this and whatever. Who's that clown that's running for Kamala's fucking vice president? It's like, oh, that
I
was
don't
a
remember his name.
yeah. Who? Because he's forgettable. Who cares? But my point is that it's like they they straight up asked like, how can you lie about something like that if you didn't actually serve, you weren't in harm's way, and you ran away, and now you're here calling out Donald Trump for running away from the draft? It's like, okay, for one, the motherfucker had bone spurs. Two, my father's knee was the size of a cantaloupe when they called him in. Yes, his older brother and his younger brother went to Vietnam. He didn't. He also was a college student and he was running the Rochester Airport's fucking ramp for luggage and everything else. He was the overseer of that, and he was a varsity football inside linebacker superstar. He had flat feet, and they were like, nope, your knee is the size of a cantaloupe and you have flat feet. Go back to your job. Oh, and you're also a college student? Yeah, no, we can't take you anyhow. Fucking get out of here. So they call, I mean, the lightweights would call my old man a draft dodger, just like they did with Trump. And again, to everyone and anyone that actually pays attention to this podcast, it's not like some pro-Republican, pro-Trump fucking thing. It's just reality. The guy had fucking bone spurs. They were a lot more reductive back in the day. So if you had any medical issues, they were just like, nope, go back to your day job. Go back to your college campus. Go finish your courses. And it's just ridiculous that that's what they're jonesing. It's we need to finish the border wall that President Trump failed to finish. It's like, failed? Like, you guys blocked all the funding, and now we have 20 million illegal immigrants running around, literally taking over college campuses. It's like, what about us? You're gonna give $100,000 to undocumented illegal fucking immigrants to buy property. and allow them to vote. Where do we come into play? We grew up here. Where's our where's our safety net? Who's coming to save us? Oh, right. No one. I just don't. I just can't wrap my head around it, bro. I just don't know what.
It is discouraging to see. I mean, the whole thing, I get it, started with good intentions. I mean, this country was founded on immigrants, but you can't, you can't just let tens of thousands of people into the country a day without knowing who is who and what is what. And then I mean, we have so many problems here already. And not to mention the money that we're sending across the seas that,
Right.
is to fund these wars that don't benefit us at all. It is pretty disheartening to see that happening, and it was, I don't know, I don't know, I don't. It is. I mean, you made fun of a guy earlier for saying it, but I don't trust either side. I guess that was your friend you were talking about who just. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The whole thing sucks. But I mean, shit. You want to talk about Gilgamesh?
Go for it.
It sucks because it actually ties back into our government.
That's all right. It always does.
Have you heard that story of Gilgamesh? I'm sure you've probably heard the name before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So literally right before we started this podcast, while I was charging my mic, I watched a video about this, and I had heard this before, that the real reason that we invaded Iraq was because giants had been discovered there. So I don't know if you've heard this before, but I had never heard it specifically referenced to Gilgamesh, which was a name I did recognize. In this video, they don't go into a lot of detail about Gilgamesh, but I did take note that they said the legend says that he's 2/3 god and 1/3 human, and he was 17 feet tall. And he was supposed to have been buried in Iraq. Well, where Iraq exists today.
Sure.
And I guess there was an archaeologist who claimed to have discovered the tomb of Gilgamesh, and then within months we invaded Iraq, and they told all the excavations, the archaeological excavations, they shut them all down. Apparently the locals said that the Americans were digging at night and taking things out and putting them on trucks and trucking them away in the middle of the night. And I think this is provable that the U.S. built a base directly surrounding this dig site where supposedly this tomb was found.
Have you ever heard of the story of Gilgamesh? The story was written 2000 BC. The story talks about how he was 2/3 God and 1/3 man. The claim was that he was 17 feet tall.
Oh, man.
And he was this brutal king, like a tyrant. But the story goes that he was buried under the Euphrates River.
That's drying up.
Well, here's the thing. In 2003, archaeologist by the name of Jorg Fassbinder, he was in the Mesopotamia area doing like the whole LiDAR thing. And what he said is, I have found the tomb of Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh.
But it's underground, right? So they have to like dig it up. Guess what happened 1 month later?
Earthquake.
The U.S. invades Iraq.
Oh my gosh!
No way.
This is where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
All the archaeological sites were then stopped in Iraq, so stop digging, you're out of here. And the U.S. military set up an encampment around the tomb site. But the locals around this encampment reported that the U.S. military were digging at night, taking things out of the ground and putting them onto trucks and driving them off.
We're villains.
We are Dr. Evil.
Is that not? I mean,
that's crazy. Where'd you learn this?
A bunch of.
This information is not suitable for the viewing public. The government is here to protect you.
Oh, that's just like the one in fucking what's the South American country? The farthest one that starts with an A.
Argentina?
Yes, where all this bailed out to after World War II. Yep. Same exact fucking deal. Correct. Yeah. They had no shame. They didn't have any need to feel shame. They always just continued on. And that's the whole crazy fucking thing, man. There's that city in Argentina. There's like 5 to 600,000 people that live there. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but
Do you think
have
that's
that.
why we invaded Iraq, though?
No,
You think
I
that's
think
the real reason?
no, that was just George Bush saved face. Yeah, but I don't think there's any relevance with the two conflicts. I think it was just basically, as far as I'm concerned, I never died in Germany. He made it with all the
Heard that.
boys. He made it with all the boys down to what was the freak scientist? Goebbels?
Oh, that went to NASA. I don't remember.
Goebbels, Jeffrey Goebbels, something like that.
I don't know.
He made it all the way down to Argentina and saved a bunch of Nazi war criminals, made safe passage for him, and he died peacefully he was like almost, I think might have even been older than 70. And he passed away peacefully on a beach in Brazil with a absolutely ridiculously gorgeous Brazilian wife that was a quarter of his age. She was like 20 years old. And he never faced any war crime.
Where did you hear all this?
Huh?
How do you know this?
Oh, you can look it up. You can look it up. I'll send you some links, bro.
Why do you believe it, though?
Why wouldn't I? If I was a war criminal, if I was a war criminal and I had safe passage, and I could avoid the worldwide war crimes court, why would I go to the war crimes court? instead of just definite and
So
going
it's
for
a
the.
theory of you. It's a theory of yours because there's no proof that he did that.
There's a lot of proof. There's a lot of proof. The down in Argentina, um, there's a handful of military bases that were deemed classified by the Argentinian government. They were built by the that fled after the fall of Germany. They have massive gates. They're impenetrable. There's no way to get into these spots. And every year there's a city. Oh, fuck. I can't remember what the fucking name of it is, but it's like 12,000 feet above sea level. It's it's all just the propaganda. Tons of white people. It's literally Argentina, South America, right? And oh my God, I just did that. I said, right? Like, you're supposed to believe me. Hate that shit. Don't ever let me do that again. But no, dude, it's wild. They all dress up like it's 1930s.
No, I know that there's not that's fled there. I'm just saying there's no proof that they ended up there.
Why would there be? Why
Just
would
saying.
there be? Why I get you, but why would there be? He was
Yeah,
there.
I
He was
mean,
there. Why? Like, what? You really think John Gotti was just stabbed in prison? No. John Gotti's probably walking around in Manhattan, 80 years old, fucking reading a newspaper, pretending like he's not spoken up. It's there's no way to approve or disprove what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that when you have that kind of resolute, absolute power, there's no one that can stop you. And you have that edge against any government that's going to come at you. You know what I mean? So, like, say the U.S. government would be like, okay, Adolf, we know you're still fucking alive, but so long as you keep your mouth shut, we'll leave you alone. Just fucking die in a corner somewhere. We don't care. And then, what, 40 years later, who was the, number one guy for cocaine in the world? Name him. You know who I'm talking about.
no. You
Oh,
talking about Escobar?
yes. Hey, we know you have bodies buried in the walls of your house, but we're not gonna say anything so long as you don't fucking say anything. And they used him as a fucking martyr. Escobar was a martyr, man. Look at fucking history. They're like, oh, they hunted him like a dog. They were bad people. They tried to make the DEA look like bad people. This fucking guy literally blew up the plane that was flying his presidential electorate I mean, what? Wh- wh- Where where do we go from here? Okay, so we're gonna let the biggest cocaine dealer in the world just blow up his, his presidential electorate in defense, and just let him get away with it. No, There- there's there's so much more going on behind the scenes. They're just like, all right, you say this, you say that, and then when his crib 10 years ago got investigated, no one was living there. He got killed, so no one was living there, and they started ripping the walls apart, and there's just body after body after body. That was Pablo Escobar. It was like, you want to fuck with me? I'll bury you in a fucking wall. And they didn't, dude. They didn't. That's the fucking craziest thing, is that they didn't do anything about it. They did nothing. They were just like, oh, well, that's what happens. It's like, what? That's what happens? What? I mean, imagine if somebody fucking Kamala Harris's fucking plane, and they're just like, shut up, quiet down. That just happened. It's just run of the mill. It's what happened, dude. That's fucking insanity. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, dude, that's literally insanity. It's like, oh yeah, no. Yeah, they went down in a plane crash. They're in first class with secret security, and 126 civilians fucking died, and he won the election, and he got away with fucking murder for everything. Like, what? It's sick. I mean, that's just about to happen here. I'll shut up now.
All right, let's wrap it up. We're almost at 80 minutes here.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, good chewing the fat, Greg. And
Yes.
you always send us off. So send us off, brother.
All right. Well, please follow, like, rate, review. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Likewise.
When you wake up in the morning, get on Front Porch Forum. Okay?
I'll try to. I gotta keep looking for Lana. But yeah, I love you too, bro.
All right. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time.
All right.
Peace.